am with the CEO of G42, Manu Jain. Hi, Manu. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
So, Manu, it was an amazing session. I, as a person who's been following a lot of G42 news, I mean, this has been very insightful.
Thank you.
So, to begin with, again, AI has always been in the forefront of things, and now with G42. Now, I want to break the ice by first talking about now you're predominantly in the Middle East. You're right there. But of course, the India connection, you'll be traveling out there. So what is it that you find a stark difference between both the places? And what do you like?
About both the places,
Yes.
Abu Dhabi and India?
Abu Dhabi and India.
Okay. I think that's a very tough one. So, of course, I'm born and brought up in India. I love the country, but last few years I've been living in UAE in Abu Dhabi. What I love about India is just like the rapid pace of transformation that the country is going through, how a lot of technology startups are coming up here, adoption of technology in everyday life, whether it is UPI, whether it is Aadhaar, ONDC, but even like one of the things which I find it really remarkable is Digi Yatra, which has made our travel so much easy. So how technology is being used in anything and everything in the country. What I like about Abu Dhabi, again, I've been there only for a few years, but I've seen a huge technology transformation happening from oil to AI and from sand to space. Very new age companies are coming over there, which was never imaginable like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But a lot of really great companies have come in, which are building genome sequencing, deep tech, space tech, etc. And that ecosystem is built over there. What I like in Abu Dhabi is like the great maybe road infrastructure which is there. You don't get stuck in traffic ever. But what I love in India is like you can just go and have a conversation with anybody and everybody. You go to a cafe, you'll find 10 entrepreneurs sitting over there building on something. There's like roadside restaurants where you can go and have like idli, dosa, coffee, a lot of these things, which is truly amazing.
Yeah. So food is always like a big thing.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Awesome. So just going to the Middle East part, like I think from last year, there's been a lot of developments in Middle East, especially in the AI field, which kind of was surprising because you have all the US and China being like the predominant players. So how did this emerge in Middle East AI?
I think I can specifically talk a little bit about UAE and Abu Dhabi since I know that ecosystem well. So I think the government over there few years ago took this conscious call that you have to be a tech first, AI first nation.
Yeah.
So UAE was actually the first country, if I'm not mistaken, the first country in the world to build an AI ministry because there's so much of focus on advancing AI and deep tech. So there's actually a ministry which is focusing on like building, introducing AI into almost anything and everything that the country does. One of the things that I absolutely love is that many of the large companies over there now have AI as a board observer seat. So AI basically helps make the right decisions, help the board members make right decisions when it comes to what has happened in the company and what the future of the company should be. So it's truly phenomenal. They just started investing in things which are the building blocks of AI, like building extremely large scale data centers, building extremely large scale compute clusters, building universities. So for example, MBZUI, Mohammed bin Zayed University of AI, which was started only a few years ago, is now becoming one of the leading universities of AI across the world. IIT Delhi is opening a campus over there in Abu Dhabi. And if I'm not mistaken, the two courses that IIT Delhi is teaching is one on oil and gas and energy, and second is actually on AI and deep tech. Because there's so much of focus on AI in that particular country. So country just took a call that we will start investing a few years ago, and then almost anything and everything has some elements of deep tech and AI into it. And G42, our company has been, which was also formed only about 6 years ago, has played a small catalyst role in making this happen in various of these initiatives over there in UAE and Abu Dhabi.
Thank you, Kyle. So if you had to, I mean, say 5 years ago, did you ever imagine that you would be getting into a space where AI is like the main thing?
Oh, of course not. I think 5 years ago, this was still a buzzword, but I don't think I would have imagined that I would be doing something in AI. And I must say, I'm still like learning because I'm new to this industry. I'm still learning basics. Coming from a world where I used to sell gadgets, now building AI models, supercomputers, data centers. This is a whole new set of learning for me. And at the same time, it is extremely exciting because you're working on something which truly has a potential to change the world. You're working on really cutting edge technology. So from that space, it is very, very exciting and very different from what I've done in the past. And really, really excited about this space.
Right. So in your session, I think there was a question on if you had to explain Nanda to a child, how would it be? My question is, if you had to explain AI to a person who has no idea, like for example, to my parents, when I have to explain, when they ask me what is AI, I'm actually like just searching for words. I'm really not sure. So how would you define AI?
Yeah. So yeah, for people who do not know, like Nanda is a model that we just launched or we just announced. This is the first and our biggest, a first Indic language focused model, and it is perhaps the largest Hindi model that we just launched. A 13 billion parameter model trained on 2 trillion tokens, slightly more than 2 trillion. Coming to a question on how do we explain AI to people who are not in this industry, it is an interesting one. The way I would basically do this is say it's a super smart digital companion, which can answer a lot of questions that you have or queries that you might have. So instead of asking anybody else, you can just ask this model. It could be simple things like, how do I make the best butter paneer, to like things like talk about explain the give a concise summary of India's independence journey, or to talk about things like how do you plan the best trip in Leh Ladakh. Could be anything and everything, but you don't need to go to like 10 different things and search for it. You can just ask your digital companion, which is super smart, super intelligent. And the reason why it is super smart, it has basically read a lot of content. It has knowledge of like thousands and millions of books and articles, and hence it can help you give the right answer or a very fairly accurate answer for anything and everything that you're looking for. That's probably the easiest way to explain AI or artificial intelligence to somebody who doesn't know.
So if I had to explain that to my mom or dad, the next question would be, isn't that Google?
Not really, because yeah, of course you can go to Google and
Yeah.
you can search, but of course still over there you have to do work on finding like 10 different sites and like looking at what thing is, and it is not custom made for you.
Yeah.
What AI does is it's like a digital assistant. Like if you have a personal assistant, the Google will show you 10 different itineraries, possible itineraries, right? Itinerary A, itinerary B, itinerary C, itinerary D. But that itinerary may not be suitable for you.
Yeah.
But if you have a personal assistant or a concierge service, they can actually customize the itinerary for you. And that's the work what AI or artificial intelligence can do, depending upon your needs. Like you don't want to be, I'm just making it up. You want to make a trip to Leh Ladakh, you can determine like I want to do bike trip for 3 days, road trip for 5 days. I want to stay in a particular location for 6 days, whatever you decide. And then it will customize as per your own requirement and then give you an answer which is suitable for you and not looking into all other circumstances. So it's a uh, super intelligent computer, which can basically do work for you, can answer your queries, and also do work for you in a very intelligent, customizable way.
And so just one bit on the future part. Now we're talking about humanoids and
Yes.
the big tech coming up with that. Is that something that you would see in your house, like employ a humanoid robot in the future to do your laundry or something?
Why not? Like I would love to if there's an option. And I think that is one of the big futures for AI when AI gets used in physical form in terms of robotics or humanoid or anything else. Of course, there's a famous meme which keeps going around on the internet saying, I don't want AI to do my like writing and poem while I do wash laundry and utensils. I want AI to do my laundry and my utensils while I actually focus on high intelligent work. So if AI gets integrated and if I have a robot which can wash my utensils and do household chores for me, why not? I would love to have that thing at some point of time in future.
Very good. So just talking a bit on the G42. So you showed a chart on how you want to build supercomputers, data centers, and LLMs for India. So which one would be the most difficult?
Yeah. So I think just a quick background for your audience. So we're focusing on 3 big initiatives: building large scale data centers in the country, building one of the largest, perhaps the largest supercomputer, because that is a big necessity for building large scale models in the country, and co-developing LLMs or large language models as we know it. I think what we have done is we have started with the third one, and that's what we announced, and the first LLM model. And all 3 of them are important. I think building large scale Data centers in the country is a long lead time because you need to acquire land, you need to get power, water supply, all of these things. So this is a very long-term project. It's fairly difficult given just the scale of these projects. Supercomputers, as long as you have the right set of chip and you have the right set of partners, you can actually bring chips to India. You can start building clusters and keep growing it over the period of years, keep advancing it. So it can be done in a more a mid-term basis. When it comes to model, I think the toughest part is just getting access to data because while we have a huge amount of knowledge bank data for Indic languages, Hindi, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, many others, a lot of this data is still not digitized. So how do you get good quality digitized data is a big question mark, which is a tough one. I think difficult for me to answer if I have to choose one on pre-ski, but I think all of them have their own set of complexities. First one is a very infrastructure heavy play. So you need to have infrastructure, land, power, etc. Second one is more about like having the right set of partners, right ecosystem over there that's already bring chips and building, and of course, this is also very expensive to bring chips. How do you do this? I think the third one, the difficulty is about just getting data, good quality data.
God. And if you could just sum up, like, what is G42 looking to bring in India?
What is G42? If you look at globally and also in UAE, which is our home market, so G42, the way it thinks of the business is there are three basic building blocks: data centers, compute and cloud, and then AI models. And on top of it, there are various industry verticals around genome sequencing, around space tech, around consumer tech, around AI analytics, and many more. And all of these industry verticals sit on the three basic building blocks: data centers, compute and cloud, and AI models. So in India, I think our starting point are the first three. It's early for us to talk about industry-specific verticals that we have in UAE and few other parts of the world. But right now, we are starting with the three basic building blocks: data centers, compute clusters, and AI. Once we have been able to deliver these three, then we can start focusing on other things. But right now, the focus is on building these three basic building blocks.
All right, great, Manu. Thank you so much. Just one last question. So I know you're here just for some time to India. You just keep traveling. So what is that one thing that you make sure you get your hands on? Like, it could be food, it could be visiting something. Is there something in your mind that
whenever I'm in Bengaluru, I'll specifically talk about it. This is home for me. Like, I've lived there for the last 10 years and I still consider Bengaluru as my home. But one thing that I do every time is like there are like so many really nice dosa restaurants over there that prepare like fresh food, like really steaming hot idlis with like filter coffee, and that is something that I absolutely adore. So whenever I'm in Bengaluru, usually my breakfast is to one of these dosa places, and I keep rotating, going to different places every time, a different one every time I'm here.
Yeah, I'm sure each time you're here, there would be
a different one, the new one that I try out, and that's something that I make it a point. But apart from that, I just like such a huge tech ecosystem over here. So every time I'm here, I just make it a point to meet some of the old friends, entrepreneurs, tech CEOs over here. And that I think is a huge ecosystem in the country and more so in this city, in this beautiful city.
Thank you so much. It was very...
Thank you so much. Yeah.